Hello, Cancer viewers. Welcome to Souls Intersect. I have your love and relationship reading for July and August. If you're interested in a private reading, please email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com. Also, I did do a general reading for Cancer for the month of July, and I'll post the link to that reading in the description below. Okay, so as an overview, these two major arcanas are really speaking to me, and they're working together and really saying that there is a change happening in your perception of love and relationships. And it's going to be more to do with the structure of it. So, one example of that could be for some of you deciding that. So, if you're in a relationship, maybe deciding that if it's traditional in some way, like if it's actually a marriage, or if it's just falling into tradition in another manner, like you're with someone who you thought you were supposed to be with for some reasons to do with race or gender or um, religion or even financial stuff, but now you realize that you weren't in it for love. There's a change of heart there. Or it could just be that you're deciding it's just a marriage and you're deciding that marriage isn't working for you, or that this one isn't working for you. Or if you're single, you could be deciding that marriage isn't something you're looking for after all, and kind of changing your perspective on romance. Um, or just exploring options, because with the Seven of Cups coming up and the Three of Cups, I'm definitely picking up on a lot of happy feelings and desires that you're interested in pursuing that maybe you weren't before. So a simple reading too could be that there's an ending to a marriage and a step away from the traditional, and some excitement around exploring your options in dating, and really celebrating that change. For some of you, this could also be a bit more experimental. So if you're single and have been dating, um, and trying to follow a traditional format in a sense, in terms of how you're meeting people, how you're going about it in terms of the dynamics, like um, going on dates and following a tradition in terms of how you're getting to know the person and taking your time, and maybe there's a change of heart happening with that, so that you're looking at things maybe from more of an experimental perspective now. So for some of you, it could be as extreme as wanting to explore like polyamory or something like that, multiple partners. If it's not a change in your entire ideal, it could also just be that you're wanting to play the field more when you've traditionally only dated one person at a time. But I am picking up on, for some of you, more experimental stuff and really enjoying that and celebrating it. So this could be dating in groups or different genders, the same gender. Again, like having multiple partners, maybe polyamory for some of you. So when I say experiment with different types of love and romance, that's what I mean. And I'm just picking that up for some of you. Definitely getting that some of you are really enjoying being single right now. I feel that even though for a lot of us, in the back of our mind, we are looking for romance and the ideal relationship, that doesn't mean we can't enjoy being single sometimes. And it feels like it's actually a healing thing for some of you right now to be dating and to be even playing the field. And you're wanting to challenge that tradition. It feels like it's been sort of a block for some of you. So even if you're not wanting to permanently be in this state, it feels like it's a period for you to have some fun with it, for the purposes of, as I mentioned, healing. So just healing, something around, it feels like an ending did happen, and it was more traditional in a sense, or at least more of what you expected from a relationship, and you got burnt by it in some way. You weren't happy. I'm feeling a lot of pressure, like you did it because you thought you were supposed to, something along those lines. And so this period is healing you from that, from doing something that you didn't feel like was who you were truly. And so even if the playing the field and dating also isn't who you are, who you want to be ultimately, or where you want to stay ultimately, it feels like for right now it's helping heal the the stuckness that you felt in that prior situation. And the other thing that it's doing is helping you to gain a new perspective and challenge some of your ideals. And I do feel that it will reshape how you look at relationships and what you want. So it feels like this period is a learning period, and that when you come out of it, you may very well be looking for more of a traditional relationship again, but with a different perspective. So it's almost like it's almost a little bit of like a rebound energy, but in a fun and experimental and happy way. So instead of jumping into another relationship as a rebound, it feels like having enjoying your time with multiple partners, or at least going on multiple dates instead of that, and that kind of being how you're playing out your rebound state, which feels really healthy to me for whoever I'm reading for. It feels like that's a really good approach, and it's kind of a way to almost avoid the rebound situation and instead have this great learning experience where it feels like you're also having fun and learning more about what you want ultimately from relationships. For some of you, I'm getting a slightly different read, which is that it feels like you may not have gotten to that point yet where you are challenging tradition, but that you are stuck in tradition. So it feels like for some of you, this reading is coming up, and you're led to this reading because you are in a traditional situation, whether it be a marriage or a relationship that you're in for reasons other than following your heart, or are single and looking for a relationship but still looking for one that meets a certain ideal that might not be working for you. And in this case, what I'm getting is that there may be some expectations that you have that may not necessarily be met. It might not be in the cards for you to get exactly what you're looking for, but that's a positive thing. That's something that you're being called upon to gain some insight into and to learn a lesson about. So it's not to say that, you're hoping for marriage and you're not going to get it. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is that it could be where you're looking, or it could be how you're perceiving what you want ultimately. But with the Death card coming up, it feels like you're being called upon to challenge that view, because it does feel like with the Seven of Cups in this case, there can be some false expectations there. There's something happening for those of you this is speaking to in your life that is a new learning experience for you about relationships, and you're being asked to consider different options rather than fall into the same patterns that you have previously. And this is going to be especially true if you feel like you've been led to similar people and it hasn't worked out before. You're being challenged again to consider your perspective on what a traditional relationship looks like versus what a relationship could look like, one that fits into who you are more. So it feels like a tough one for some of you, because as I'm speaking, I even feel like you're pretty set in your ways for some of you. You want, it's like you want these 7 things and you're trying to manifest them. And for some of you, it doesn't feel like it's working. And the reason it's not working is because there's a learning experience to be had, and there's this death coming up, a change in what you perceive, what you expect a relationship to be. And on the other side of that is this celebration. So if you can make this transformation, it feels like there is a celebration of love for you. And I just want to clarify that I don't mean you necessarily have to go for something completely different. I don't mean that you should consider not marrying. It's going to speak to different people in different ways. It could be, again, how you're looking for it, who you're thinking of marrying, or just what you're looking for, how you're perceiving the relationship to look like. So you're being encouraged to be open and to consider different options, because it feels like that's where satisfaction will be for you. So if you have any questions about that, this feels like one that definitely could use some looking at in a private sense. So if that speaks to you in some way, but you're not sure how specifically, a private reading could really help with that. So just let me know if you have any questions, soulsintersect@gmail.com, or go ahead and leave a comment below. Thank you.